Yo, that's right. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the portrait of a millionaire. What does a real millionaire look like? Not a TV millionaire, not what they show us in Hollywood, but the average, everyday, hardworking, financially intelligent individual that has amassed enough assets to be considered a millionaire. That's right. Cortez Hustle Show. It's about to go down. As you guys are coming into the room, go ahead and do me a favor. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand if you like a free business shout out here on the show. And I can't wait to get into this particular subject matter because we've all been shown what millionaires look like. And that's part of the consumerism machine so that we can go out and try to emulate what we see on TV. But man, I have been fortunate enough and blessed enough to know quite a few millionaires, and they don't look like what you see on TV. So let's go ahead and get into today's show. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you have not already taken a look at the Monetize My Life Academy digital marketing mastermind, then you are missing out, my friend, especially if you have gifts, talents, special abilities that you are trying to package and present to the marketplace. You've got intellectual capital that you're trying to turn to intellectual property that you can sell on autopilot. That's what the digital marketing mastermind is all about. We meet once a month and we go over a particular subject. This next month, we're going over content creation, syndication, and distribution. And we always talk about how to create your products, how to package your products, how to market your products, how to create an attractive, powerful, profitable online brand that will attract the right people to you and then convert those people to raving fans and paying customers on autopilot. That's monetizemylifeacademy.com. This morning's topic, portrait of a millionaire, based on the popular book, The Millionaire Next Door. We've done this show a couple times before, and it's a great reminder for me. So I like to really bring this to life about once a year, man, just to remind people that don't go out there chasing waterfalls, as they would say, the group TLC would sing. Understand what it takes to become a real millionaire. And a lot of you guys are closer than what you might think. A lot of you guys have the traits that could get you there in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, but you're too busy spending money on things to make you look like a millionaire instead of spending on things that can create an actual $1 million net worth. We like to start the show with a quote of the day, and I was listening to my morning motivation today, and I heard Steve Harvey say, man, quitting is guaranteed failure, right? There's some things that you're going to run into in your life, some bumps and bruises, and I get that. You're going to struggle from time to time, but you just can't afford to give up. Can't afford to quit, man. You cannot afford to quit. Quitting is guaranteed failure, right? So always remember that, man. When you're about to give up, it's the only way that you're guaranteed to fail. Now, if you try and you stumble, that doesn't necessarily mean you fail. But if you quit, that's guaranteed failure. Steve Harvey. That is the quote of the day on the Cortez Hustle Show this morning. Quick announcements, and we're going to get right into today's content. If you missed our $99 stimulus credit, man, you could have saved yourself $100. However, if you understand that you need a business in this economy and you want to start a home-based business, couple $100, you can start a business in the financial education space with yours truly. And I'll show you how over the last 6 years, I built a solid 4-figure residual income posting financial tips and strategies on social media. If you're interested in learning how to do that, all you have to do is comment, let's connect. And I'll have someone on the team reach out to you, and we'll talk about what it looks like for you to become a part of our extra digit movement, where the goal is to help you grow your money 1 digit at a time. Ray Wilkerson, welcome to the stream this morning. If you have not already, smash that share button, but also go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from. Let us know the name of your business and or your brand. If you're building something special, just don't share any links, man. And we appreciate that engagement this morning. So question of the day is, what do you want to be known for, right? What do you want to be known for? And we got to give a huge shout out to my girl, Ava. No, not Ava. A on YouTube won the free vacation for the week. So on YouTube, the name is A. But tuned in and answered the question of the day. So if you want to be entered into a drawing to win, potentially win that free vacation, all you have to do is answer the question of the day. The way you answer it, though, is you have to put QOTD, so my team knows that you're answering or responding to the question of the day. Then your name goes into a drawing, and every Wednesday at noon, we do a drawing and we give away a free vacation. I think A chose to go to Miami. So what is the question of the day? It is, what do you want to be known for? A lot of times we don't think about that. 40 years from now, when your grandchildren look back on your life, what do you want to be known for? That is the question of the day. So let's get those responses rolling. I forgot to share the stream myself on my own page. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and smash that share button myself. I'm always telling y'all to smash the share button. Let me smash the share button. Boom. There we go. There we go. All right. So we're talking portrait of a millionaire, man. What is it that millionaires do? And I'm not talking about TV millionaires. I'm not talking about celebrities. No, I'm talking about the people who built their millions from scratch. How did they do it? What is their thought process? If you missed yesterday's show, we talked all about the mindset of the wealthy, but now we're going to talk about what that mindset, the types of activities and actions that mindset leads to. That's what we're talking about today. So in the book, The Millionaire Next Door, #1 best-selling book. You can get this on Amazon or all your latest bookstores and online retailers. But what they did was they studied a bunch of millionaires and they excluded celebrities, entertainers, people who had large inheritance and stuff like that. These are people who were not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They actually built their wealth. And let's talk about what these people look like, right? #1 says, this is the portrait of a millionaire. I am a 57-year-old male, married with 3 children. About 70% of us earn 80% or more of our household income. I want you to get something, because some of us are beating ourselves up in our 30s and 40s. The average millionaire doesn't get there until they're in their 50s. The average is about 57 years old, usually males, right? But this doesn't consider all of the new female entrepreneurs that are crushing it right now. And the man is responsible for about 80% of the household income. So don't beat yourself up in your 30s and your 40s. If you are exhibiting the mindset of wealthy people and you're doing the activities like saving 10 to 20% or investing 10 to 20% of your income, yeah, it's not going to make you a millionaire in your 30s, but keep at it. Keep doing it. If your business is struggling right now, keep at it. Keep going, because by the time you get your 40s, late 40s, early 50s, you should be bubbling, baby. Number two, about 1 in 5 of us is retired. About 2/3 of us who are working are self-employed. Now watch this. Interestingly, self-employed people make up less than 20% of the workers in America, but account for 2/3 of the millionaires. Keep trying to tell y'all, man, entrepreneurship is where it's at if you want to build long-term sustainable wealth. See, what you got to understand about entrepreneurship, it allows you to create income that you own and control. And when you can create income you own and control, sometimes you're going to have greater months than others, but because it's yours, because you get 100% of the income on the front end before Uncle Sam sticks his hand in your pocket, you can do a lot with it, a lot more with it in terms of investments and purchasing income producing assets. So self-employed people make up less than 20% of the workers in this country, but they make up 2/3 of all millionaires. I'm just saying, if you want a greater chance and greater shot at becoming a millionaire, then you do that through entrepreneurship. It's hard to become a millionaire working for somebody else, man. It's just hard. Those are just the facts, man. Number three, many of the types of businesses we are in could be classified as dull normal, right? It's not always about doing the sexy thing, right? I know I talk a lot about this internet money, man, and that kind of thing. Excuse me. But they said a lot of the businesses that they are in that help create the $1 million foundation for them, we are welding contractors, auctioneers, rice farmers, owners of mobile home parks, pet controllers, coin and stamp dealers, and paving contractors. Yeah, we just do the boring stuff, man, that pays really well. Yeah, we just got some paving equipment, and 3 or 4 times a year we get a huge contract from the city or from the state to pave like 40 miles of highway. See, that's boring stuff. That's the boring stuff. They said these types of businesses are classified as dull normal, just everyday thing. We ride by people like that all the time, and we think, oh man, they out there working so hard in the sun. We never think that they own the business that's doing the work so hard out there in the sun, right? About half of our wives do not work outside the home. The number one occupation of those wives who do work is teachers. So you telling me that you're building wealth from scratch, and for 50% of y'all, the secret weapon is the fact that your wife stays home and takes care of the homestead, takes care of a lot of the other things that, because I'm in business, some of these things will go neglected. So both of us can't be grinding and outside the house. And those of us who do have wives that work out the house, the number one occupation is teachers. It's teacher. Why? Because they can be up and at 'em, and they can be back at home by the time school ends at 2:30, 3:30. And they get a gazillion holidays off, and they're off all summer long, right? To help in the business and maintain the home and all of that kind of stuff, man. It's interesting, man. They always say success leaves clues. In fact, why don't you guys put that in the chat? Success leaves clues. And these are the clues of what a real millionaire looks like. Give you a quick example. I know a couple, Tom and Patty, right? Down at Patty Creek's farm. Go look up Patty Creek's farm. You'll see these guys invested $100,000 end up getting 100 acres. That 100-acre property is, I think there were 3 buildings on that property. If I'm not mistaken, 3 buildings on that property, maybe 2 buildings on that property. Let's see, because they actually built a new building. So I think there were 2 buildings on the property already, and they built 2 more buildings on the property. And they actually turned it into a nice rustic bed and breakfast. Now, here's what you got to understand about a wealthy mentality and how wealthy people think. They could have very easily borrowed the same $100,000 for the bank and bought them a ranch place in a subdivision next to a million other houses that look exactly the same. I said, no, why would we do that? It's the same 100,000. I can spend 100,000 on a 1/10 of an acre, a 1/4 acre, maybe even a 1/2 an acre if you're lucky in some of these suburbs. Or I can invest 100,000 in 100 acres that's got 2 buildings on the property, one in which we can live in. It's not the best. We might live in it 2 years while we're building our other property. But we got 100 acres. We got an asset that we better pass down to the children. We got an asset that we can do some things with. We can raise a farm. We can have animals, right? It can become a homestead. It can become a bed and breakfast, which is what they did with it, right? Good morning, Leela, Stormy, Anthony. Welcome to the show. Comment in the chat the name of your business and or your brand. If you're building something special, we like to know about it. So a wealth mentality says, man, I need a place to stay, but also how can, they get to plant their own food and the whole nine. How can I best leverage this money that I'm about to borrow? If I got to borrow some money, how can I best leverage it so it can serve multiple purposes for me? Right now, maybe you don't want to be out in the country, right? But maybe instead of buying a single family home with $100,000 you borrow, maybe you invest in a storefront that's got 2 or 3 stores at the bottom and a nice 2-3 bedroom apartment at the top. Hey, I'm going to live in the apartment at the top. No, it's not a house. No, I don't have a yard. Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult for a couple of years. I got tenants downstairs who run businesses, so they got a lot of traffic going on, but they're paying me $1,000 a month each. And my mortgage on this thing ain't but $1,200. So I get to live for free and got an extra $1,800 per month in cash flow. See, that's what we got to start thinking, man. Those are the types of moves we got to start making, and we got to start putting ourselves in position to make those kinds of moves, right? Time is getting away from us already. It is 7:19, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Cortez Hustle Show's 1 minute motivation. How does 1 minute motivation work? We play a 1 minute motivational video, and then you guys comment your takeaways, and then I give you my takeaways as well. So 1 minute motivation here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Let me set up this video for you guys. It is it's powerful. It is my man Denzel Washington. A compilation of some of the things that he talked about and he teaches, and when he does his commencement speeches and all of that kind of stuff. And I'll give you the channel that this motivational video comes from, and I'll also drop the link of the video itself in the comments as well. So let me find it, and let's go ahead with 1 minute motivation on the Cortez Hustle Show this morning.
You only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots. And you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. Simple goals, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency every day, not just.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 1 minute motivation video for today. What is your number one takeaway from that video? Man, I've got quite a few. That doggone Denzel voice, man, it's just calm and soothing. Even when he's yelling at you, you can't get upset, right? There's a couple things that really rang out for me. He said, you only live once. Do what you're passionate about, man. That's important. Don't be afraid to take risks, take chances. Failure is part of the success equation. So why not fail big, right? Why not just put yourself all the way out there? Dream big. Dream big. But if you're going to dream, understand dreams without goals are just dreams. And they will ultimately fuel disappointment. Now, that right there, he said, if you have dreams, but you don't have goals and a plan to get you to the dream, then those dreams will fuel disappointment. That right there, oh man, that's golden. Let's see. Leela says, set small goals every day. Absolutely, man. I have what's called the High Performance Planner by Brendan Burchard. And I've been using this planner every day, and I'm still getting used to it. But one of the things that it asks me every day, it says, as you reflect on what's going on, or as you be intentional about what's going on today, what are today's top 3 goals, priorities? What are 3 tasks that must be done today? And then throughout the day, I'm learning that you can't just do it and set it in the morning. You have to review them every day. So throughout the day, I bring that planner back open and say, oh man, it's noon. You said you was going to get these 3 things done today. These were the 3 goals you had today. You ain't even started on neither one of them, right? It's dope. So yeah, set small goals every day. Have goals, but know that you must take the necessary steps to achieve those goals. Yeah, man, that was some powerful stuff. Let me grab the link for you, because that particular video is actually, I think it's about 3 minutes long. So it goes a little bit deeper than that. So let me help you with that. So there is the link. Make sure y'all go check out the YouTube channel. Show some love to the channels that I get these 1 minute motivations from. And this particular channel is, let me see if I can get back to the name of the channel. It is Sweats Motivational is the name of that particular channel. So do that for me. I would appreciate it. Welcome. Looks like somebody else just jumped on. Rita Robinson is in the building. Welcome. Appreciate you hopping in from Lexington Park, Maryland. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our discussion on Portrait of a Millionaire, man. What does a real millionaire look like? And so we talked about 57 years old is the average age of millionaires today, and they are males usually, and bring in about 80% of their home. About 1 in 5 of them are retired, but 2/3 of them who are working are self-employed. Even though self-employed people make up less than 20% of the workforce, they make up 2 2/3 of millionaires. Less than 20% of today's workforce, but make up 2/3 of millionaires. Guys, entrepreneurship is where it's at if you're trying to build long-term sustainable wealth, right? If that's your goal. If you're not trying to build long-term sustainable life, you just wealth, you're just trying to eke out a living for yourself, then there's nothing wrong with having a job, man. Nothing wrong with having a job. But if wealth is the aim, then you absolutely must understand the power of entrepreneurship. Many of the types of businesses that we are in are classified as dull normal. We are welding contractors, auctioneers, rice farmers, owners of mobile home parks, pest controllers, coin and stamp dealers. Who'd have thought you go and see a coin and stamp dealer and some hole in the wall that they own, probably, by the way. They're not leasing the building, they own it, and therefore they're probably renting out the nicer amenities to other businesses, right? But that's $1 million business. About half our wives do not work outside the home. The number one occupation for those that do work out the home is teacher. Now, watch this. See, we're going to keep going back to entrepreneurship because that's just the way of the millionaire, right? It's hard to build wealth working a job only. So we're going to keep coming back to this millionaire, but he says, our household's total annual realized taxable income is $131,000, right? That puts them in the 50th percentile. You said, Cortez, you said they were millionaires and their taxable income is $100,000. He said, while our average income is $247,000, right? The average income of these folks, $247,000. But look at their taxable income. This is the income they pay taxes on, $131,000, right? What happened to that other $100,000+? Why are they not paying taxes on $247,000? Because they understand the power of entrepreneurship. See, that other $100,000+, what is that? $116,000. They wrote that off on their taxes because they have businesses. And when you have businesses, you get to put away way more money. So some of that money was actually spent on running the business. But you know what a bulk of that money went to? Their retirement accounts. Now, I'm not a financial planner or financial advisor. I just talk to a lot of them and try to understand how the money game is played by wealthy people. Do you know that when you own a business, you can put away $54,000 every year tax-free into your retirement account? As an employee, you can only put away $18,000 to $24,000. As a business owner, because I own the business and I work for the business, I can double that amount. Watch this. As a business owner, I can put that $54,000 away as a business owner, right? Then I can create for myself a retirement program for my being the number one employee, and I'll match whatever my number one employee puts into their retirement account. It's bananas, right? And then my number two employee is who? My wife. So I'm gonna match everything that she puts into her retirement account too. And I'm gonna be able to write that stuff off on my taxes. See, there's a different way to operate in this economy when you're on the other side of it as a business owner. Even if you're self-employed, even if you're a sole proprietor, you don't have to have an LLC and all that kind of stuff. That stuff has its purpose, but sometimes we stop ourselves from starting because of those things. oh man, in my state it's $600 to file an LLC, so I can't start my business till I save up to $600,000. Fortunately for me here in Missouri, it's $50 to form a single person LLC. So it's not that bad, but you can operate your business as a sole proprietor before you start your LLC, right? And this is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney, so don't go talk to a certified financial professional in these arenas. But I'm saying in this country, what we don't realize is that your social security number is actually an EIN number. You're just not doing business. So because you're not doing business, you know what happens? You get taxed. The country is taxing you because you're not doing business, even though your social security number says that you are a business. But because you're not doing business, we're going to tax you. Now, if you start doing business, then we're not going to tax you as much. Because what you got to understand that in this economy, the way this whole thing works is everybody can't get a tax break. So what they say is, if you work a job, and I know you feel like you bring a lot to the table to the job, right? And you deserve some tax breaks. But let me ask you something. When you went to that job, was the building already there? When you went to that job, was there a computer already there for you to work on? When you went to that job, was there customers and clients already there for you to service? When you went to that job, was there structure already laid? Was there payroll already set up? Were there already other employees working there? See, you don't bring as much to the table as you think in terms of what this economy looks for when they're determining who's going to get taxed and who's not. Because you bring the least amount to the table, you pay the most in taxes. Now, as the business owner, I had to go out and put all of this infrastructure in place in order to be able to offer you employment. So the government says, hey, instead of taxing the business owner who has to invest in infrastructure to create the job, we're going to give the business owner tax breaks. And we're going to tax the employees the most because they're bringing the least amount to the table. Come on, think about it from the government standpoint. I could tax this one business owner out the wazoo, or because this one business owner is bringing me a bunch of employees to tax, I could tax them and give the business owner a tax break. Because if I give him a tax break, he's going to create more infrastructure and bring more employees to the table that I'm going to tax 30%. So you got the employee who's bringing nothing to the table, so they get taxed the most. The business owner bringing a lot of infrastructure and opportunity to the table, which creates the jobs for the employees. So they're taxed the least. But you know who's they're taxed less? You know who's taxed the least? The people who finance the business owners, the people who are making money with the money. When the business owner wants to expand his infrastructure, when the business owner wants to expand his inventory, they normally have to go and borrow the money from the bank. So the banks make the way for the business owners to grow. And when the business owner grows, they can hire more employees. So the government says, hey, if it wasn't for the banks, the business owner couldn't grow. The business owner wouldn't be able to hire more employees for us to tax. So since the banks make it all possible for the businesses to grow, and the businesses are the ones who are hiring all the employees, we're just going to tax the employees to death, give the business owners a tax break so they can continue to expand and hire more employees. And we're going to give the banker the most tax breaks. They're going to pay the least in taxes. Yeah, that's how it works, man. You can't be in this economy and not understand how this economy works. And we talking about you gonna get rich. You got to learn how the game is played if you're gonna get rich. That's how the game is played, right? So their taxable income is $131 a year. Their average income is $247. So they're moving money around to the tune of $116,000, if my math is right. That $116,000 every year is how they're building their wealth. Now, you might not be at 247 in terms of your income. You might be at 70, right? But if you have a home-based business, you could be taken out of that 70. You could be moving some money around too. It might not be 116,000, but if you're moving around 25,000 every year and 15,000 is going into a nice investment vehicle, it won't take you long to build $1 million net worth. But you got to play the game, man. All right, man. Time is getting away from us. You have an average household net worth of 3.7 million, right? And we're talking about a portrait of a millionaire. The folks who are in Walmart with coupons and we're looking down our nose at them, not realizing that they're sitting on 70 acres, not realizing they're cattle farmers. They got 200 head of cattle. But we don't understand economics. We don't understand that each one of those cattle can create $2,500 a piece of revenue. I don't understand. But we're looking down our nose. We're looking down our nose because this guy got overalls on. We don't know that he owns a trailer park and he's got like 200 families and 200 trailers in his trailer park. And we're laughing because his wife, when she goes to check out, pulls out a coupon book. That's how they're getting wealthy and staying wealthy. We have an average household net worth of $3.1 million. Of course, some of our cohorts have accumulated much more. Nearly 6% have a net worth of over 10 million. Again, those people who have over 10 million, they skew the numbers for and messes up the averages, right? On average, our total annual realized income is less than 7% of our net worth. Wait a minute. The income that they live on only accounts for 7% of their net worth. In other words, we live on less than 7% of our worth. What are we doing? Spending every dime we get our hands on. We make 100,000, we spending 125,000. Because we don't understand how to play the game to get to the wealth. Most of us, 97%, are homeowners. We live in homes currently valued at an average of $320,000. About half of us have occupied the same home for more than 20 years. What does that tell me? That tells me that they understand the detriment of lifestyle creep. You mean to tell me that you've been slowly accumulating millions, or I wouldn't say millions, you've been slowly accumulating hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you've been in the same house for 20 years. You didn't allow lifestyle creep to happen. Hey, we made another extra $100,000 this year. It's time for us to get into a bigger house. Nope. Say, hey man, we're gonna invest that $100,000. We're gonna put that back into the business. We're gonna put that into paying off our debt. We're gonna put that into creating this emergency fund so that if push comes to shove and we have to live without an income for 5 years, we're golden. I'm just saying, y'all. Wealthy people, when you develop the wealth mindset, and I'm gonna put a link up here so that you can go back and listen to yesterday's show where we set this whole thing up with understanding rich mindset versus poor and middle class mindset. You got to develop the mindset first. Wealth begins in the mind. Once you develop the proper mindset, then you'll develop the proper thought process. And then the proper thought process will lead you to the proper actions like what they've taken, not refinancing their mortgage every 2 years, pulling the cash out so that you never own your home. Not upgrading your home every 5 years because you got a raise on the job or promotion on the job. Great content. I appreciate that. Shrita says, dropping nuggets, Cortez. I appreciate that, man. If y'all haven't already hit the share button, smash the share button. And if you have not answered question of the day so that you can enter the drawing for the free vacation next Wednesday at noon, the question of the day is, what do you want to be known for? In order for us to know that you're responding to the question of the day, you have to put QOTD, and then give your answer, and we'll write your name down, and it goes into a pot. And next week we do the drawing on Wednesday. Shout out to A off of YouTube, was yesterday's winner. Sent him a voucher for a nice 4-day, 3-night getaway to Miami. So you can enter the win. All you got to do is engage with the show, answer the question of the day, QOTD, then give your answer. What do you want to be known for? And in particular, not to the world, to your family. Think about 4 generations from now, your great-great-grandchildren. What do you want them to know you for? It's part of the reason I do this show. Is because I don't want my great-great-grandchildren to have to wonder what I thought. They're going to be able to go back into the archives and listen to my thoughts. They're going to go back to a show like this and say, hey, great-great-grandpa was reading a book called The Millionaire Next Door. Let me go get that book. Right? Sharita says, I want to be known as a philanthropist. Man, you better say it. You better say it. These folks are living on less than 7% of their worth. See, we look at our income as the major thing. No, their income, their realized income is $131,000, but they own so many other assets that their net worth is bananas. All right, let me run through a few more of these, man. We got a few more minutes. Then I'll give my response to the question of the day. Most of us, 97% of homeowners, we live in the homes currently valued at $320,000. About half of us have occupied these homes for more than 20 years. Most of us have never felt at a disadvantage because we did not receive an inheritance. 80% of us are first generation wealthy. Man, listen. 80% of today's millionaires are first generation wealthy. But here's the mindset. You guys got to get the mindset. They never felt at a disadvantage because they didn't come from money. Man, if you don't understand how to get your mindset wrapped around, these are the cards I was dealt. This is the hand. And I'm going to make this a winning hand. We spend a lot of time complaining about what we don't have. And, right, it's how many of you guys out there play spades? How many guys out there play spades? I want to share this analogy with you about complaining about what you don't have and not realizing what you do have. See, a lot of us play spades, right? And the cards come and they get dealt out to us. And the first thing we do when we open our hand is we look for the jokers, right? The first thing we do, if you play with the jokers in the deck, you open your hand and the first thing you're looking for is the jokers. And if you're a novice, if you're a pessimist, the first thing you do is you complain that you don't have the jokers. Man, I ain't getting not one of the jokers, a big joker or the little joker. But at the same time, you got the ace of spade, you got the king of spade, you got the queen of spade, you got the jack, the 10, and the 9. And you complaining about not having the jokers. And you got the ace of club, the ace of heart, and the king of diamond. But you complaining that you don't have the jokers. Some of us have been dealt some hands and we can't see the one thing that's going to make us super wealthy. I don't have stunning looks like a Denzel, a Michael Ealy, or a Idris Elba. I don't have super high IQ. See, we're looking for that one standout thing. But what we're not realizing is that we've got all of these other supplemental things. When you put those things together, you got $1 million hand. You got a winning hand. You got enough to set the other team, if we're going back to our spades analogy. But we're looking for that one shiny thing. Man, I don't have none of that stuff. But you know what I do have? I have what Denzel talked about in that doggone 1 minute motivation. I have the ability to be consistent. I have the ability to be disciplined. So while I don't have the best looks, I don't have the highest IQ, I'm not the most creative, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can outwork almost anybody. I know how to show up. And let me give you a little secret about showing up, y'all. Most of the time when I show up, I don't even know what I'm going to do when I get there. I just know it's worth showing up. See, some of you won't show up because you don't know what you're going to do when you get there. Hey, I'll figure that out when I get to the door. I don't know what I'm going to do. All I know is that if I consistently show up, I'll eventually start figuring out what to do when I get there. Sharita, feeling me? I'm just saying, man, listen, I just know I need to show up. That's it. Kind of like Will Smith said, listen, if you and me get on a treadmill, there's two things going to happen. You're getting off before me or I'm going to die. How many guys are willing to be that committed towards building wealth? I'm just asking, man. Just one man in his thoughts, that's all. All right, so let's run through, because I got about 10 more of these, man, and I still got to do my question of the day. Speaking of the question of the day, if you have not already answered the question of the day, put QOTD and then your answer. What is the question of the day? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? Now, in your community, it's fine. Around the world, if you're building a global brand, it's fine. But think about a simpler form. What do you want to be known by your great-great-grandchildren for? Right? Just think about that, right? Some of us ain't trying to take over the whole world like I am. Think about what you want to be known for by your great-great-great-grandchildren, right? 80% of millionaires today are first generation, and their disposition is, just like my disposition is, I do not feel at a disadvantage because I didn't come from wealth, because I was raised fourth born of 6 children, raised by a single mom on welfare. If anything, that is what gave me or gives me the advantage. See, 80% of millionaires are first generation wealthy. It says most of us have never felt at a disadvantage because we did not receive an inheritance. I'm fourth born of 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls, raised by a single mom on welfare. $900 was the monthly income, $300 welfare check, $300 food stamps, $300 social security check because I lost my dad when I was 11. $900, she raised 6. That didn't make me or put me at a disadvantage. You know what that did? That gave me all the advantages that I'm using today. It taught me how to show up. It taught me how to be resourceful. Some of us don't lack resources. We lack resourcefulness. That's the difference. We live well below our means. We wear inexpensive suits and drive American-made cars. Only a minority of us drive the current model year only a minority ever lease our motor vehicles. Most of our wives are planners and meticulous budgeters. In fact, only 18% of us disagree with the statement, charity begins at home. We have a go to hell fund. What? We have a go to hell fund. In other words, we have accumulated enough wealth to live without working for 10 or more years. What is your go to hell fund looking like these days? They said, I don't got to go to work for 10 years and my lifestyle don't got to change. Some of us, if we don't go to work next week, it's hell to pay the captain. Because we're trying to do the things that wealthy people do before we establish the mindset of wealthy people. No, be, do, have. See, I'm becoming a billionaire right now so that I can start doing the things habitually that billionaires do, so I can eventually have the things that billionaires have. Right? I'm doing right now what Oprah was doing 25 years ago when she got her start. She was just showing up every day, giving value, learning the craft of media. I'm doing that right now. See, some of us won't do this because we want the TV show right now. We want the OWN network right now. No, you got to go back and look at the mindset that Oprah had 25 years ago. You got to go back and look at the habits that Oprah established 25 years ago. And then you have to A, establish that mindset. B, you have to then do those things and establish that habit. And then here's where most people fall off. You got to be willing to do it for 25 years, irregardless of whether or not it leads to a $3 billion empire or just a $10 million empire. Will you show up when you do not know what the end result was going to be? That's my question to you. See, I'm going to have a media empire that rivals Ted Turner and Disney. And I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to lay a brick on that empire every day. And if 50 years from now, it doesn't happen, it's not as big as I want it to be, doesn't matter. Because who I'm becoming on this journey, that's the real success story. So what is that go to hell fund looking like? The great Dr. Lynn Richardson says we live payday to Monday, payday to 2 o'clock. I got paid this morning. I paid all my bills by 2 o'clock. I can't even go out to lunch because I paid all my bills, right? Put gas in the car. For next week, now I'm broke. Man, how much time we got left? Let me run through a few more of these. We have more than 6.5 times the level of wealth of our non-millionaire neighbors. But in our neighborhood, these non-millionaires outnumber us more than 3 to 1. See, they live in like common people. And you know what's funny? The people who are living all around them, struggling, trying to impress those that they don't even know with how they live, how they drive, the vacations they take, all of that stuff. Some of them know that these people are millionaires, but they don't even have the intelligence to take these people to lunch and say, hey man, tell me how you did this. But instead, they judge. Instead, they look at them like they're special. Oh, yeah, they got that business over there, but I'm sure somebody handed them a $50,000 check to help them get started. Now, why don't you just go ask them how they got started? All right. As a group, we are fairly well educated. Only 1 in 5 are not college graduates. 18% have master's degrees, 8% have law degrees, 6% have medical degrees, and 6% have PhDs. Only 17% of us or our spouses have ever attended a private or private elementary or private high school. However, 55% of us send our children to these schools. They didn't even come from, they didn't attend private school. Public education, determination, grit, figure some things out, guarantee you they got some mentors who said, hey, if you want to go to the next level, you probably want to start doing some of these things, just like I'm trying to encourage you guys to do now. You probably want to start thinking a little bit differently than everybody else, because everybody else, come on, man, out of 100 people who get to the age of retirement, of course, some of those people have died, but only 4 people out of 100 are financially stable when they get to age retirement. And you're going to continue to do exactly what everybody else around you are doing? Are you kidding me? As a group, we believe that education is extremely important for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren. We spend heavily for the educations of our offspring. And let me help you understand what they spend on, the education that they're spending on their offspring. It's not the private school that they're spending on. Yeah, they're sending their kids to private school. But you know, the education that they're really spending on is their children get to go to Spain for 2 weeks. They're making that investment, right? And we're saying we can't afford that, right? Their children get to go to engineering camp down at NASA for 2 weeks. It costs them $2,500, and they send in 2 or 3 of their kids, right? See, they are investing in the experiences that will allow their children to then find their identity in something that they can love to do, so they can continue to feed their children in those areas. We are fastidious investors. On average, we invest nearly 20% of our household realized income each year. Most of us invest at least 15%. 79% of us have at least one account with a brokerage company. We hold nearly 20% of our household's wealth in transaction securities, such as publicly traded stocks and mutual funds, but we rarely sell our equity investments. Man, 2 more, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts on the question of the day. As a group, we feel that our daughters are financially handicapped in comparison to our sons. Men seem to make much more money, even with the same occupational categories. See, they're not looking at, hey, this is an unfair world, we've got to gripe, complain, and cry about it. They're saying, listen, son, you have an easier road to go than our daughter. You don't get the same financial support as you get grown and gone that she does, because we understand that. And they're training their sons to understand that coming forward. Just like we as Black people are training our children to say, listen, if you're a Black man, there's certain things that you have to be aware of, right? If you're a Black woman, there's certain things that you have to be aware of. But are we training them in the area of financial literacy the same way? Just like I got to teach my 5 sons, man, how to respond to being pulled over by a cop, I better be teaching them about credit too. I'm just saying. All right, let's see. What would be the ideal occupation? So we'll end it right there, man, because we're coming to the top of the hour. Listen, question of the day. What do you want to be known for? I want to be known. Big Boy 357. Man, Big Boy, you were supposed to hit me, brother. I wanted you to really get an understanding of this MWR thing, bro. You could have saved $100 on the join fee. Now it's back to $228. But nevertheless, if you see an opportunity, hit your boy up. Listen, man. Question of the day. What do you want to be known for? Right? Globally, I want to be known for the guy who put together a media company. And just like in Hollywood today, there's a certain undertone to everything that gets put out. I want to create a media company where there's a certain undertone to everything that we put out. And that certain undertone is going to be entrepreneurship and financial literacy. Every movie that you see, there's going to be nuggets. There's going to be gems. There's going to be examples of the importance of entrepreneurship. Every cartoon that we put out, there's going to be nuggets. Oh, okay. So you are with the extra digit movement then. We're on the same team then. Nice. Yeah, I did under Queen of Credit. Yeah, nice. Then we're on the same team. Good for you, man. That's gonna help you as a truck driver, man. Really save a ton of money, man. And then you start following some of these principles and plugging in with our Wealth Max. That's gonna help you, right? I want to be known for the guy who turned the community thought process around, or at least started in that process. I want to be the guy that helped to make becoming financially literate sexy. That's what I want to be, the guy who helped our community see that we have to start where we are with what we have, and that's enough. I want to be known as a guy publicly as someone who said, listen, I'm going to take this one seed, right? And I'm going to plant this seed. And then when this crop comes up, I'm not going to eat any of the crop because I'm looking into the future. I'm going to take the crop and I'm going to save all of the seeds from the crop. And then next year, I'm going to plant 200 seeds. And I want to be the example of that. I want to be the example of that. And when it comes to my family, I want to be the guy who's got the oil painting above the mantle and all of my descendants' homes, right? And I want them to be able to look at that image and be proud. I want them to be able to look at that image and says, there goes a man who was thinking about us long before we were here. And he laid the foundation of an empire and left us the blueprints so we can all pick up exactly where he left off. There is a man who, because he understands that each one of us is built and designed for a specific purpose, he laid the foundation so that none of us will ever have to worry about money. So the minute we're born, we come out and we have a better chance because we don't have to worry about money. Now we can start worrying about purpose, and we can go right into identifying our purpose that we were put on this planet to do. And we have the financial resources to do it to death. That, my friend, is what I want to be known for. So answer the question of the day. Put QOTD. When you answer the question, you get entered into a drawing to every Wednesday at noon to win a free vacation. Shout out to a YouTube subscriber because he won yesterday's drawing. So, man, it's going down, man. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully you have shared the show. That was 1 minute. I'm sorry, that was the question of the day here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Tomorrow's show, how many of you guys would be cool if I showed you about 2 or 3 different ways that you can make money online with less than $100? Right? I've got a strategy where I'm building out something for college kids to help them pay their way through college so that they don't have to go into all of this debt with these loans. And for $1, these guys can get started with this program. And I'm going to show some examples tomorrow. You guys would be cool with that? If we pivot it just a little bit and I give you some tactical stuff, not just some mindset stuff. I'm going to give you some tactical stuff that you can put your hands on, right? And show you and show your children how. I mean, if you got a 12, 13-year-old kid who loves to be on computers and tablets and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to show you how you can introduce entrepreneurship to them. It's going to be crazy, man. So less than $1, they're going to be able to take this platform and they're going to be able to create with this platform nice things that they could sell to internet marketers like me We're gonna do that tomorrow, man. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you're checking us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast feed on your favorite podcasting networks. Like the page on Facebook. Turn on See First, so every time we drop something, man, you get notified. Till I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.